Hi, my name's Cindy Kennedy and I'm a nutritional medicine practitioner and author of Help My Child Has Hashimoto's. I'm really excited to have you here today to share with you just some information about Hashimoto's. So I really wanted to do this as a live webinar, but unfortunately I live out in the country and my internet is less than reliable. So instead I've opted for a video for you so I can have it all set, and then that way you don't have to worry about me disappearing and dropping off the face of the earth. So just before I start, really quick intro about me and who I am and why I'm so passionate about Hashimoto's. So as I said, I'm a nutritional medicine practitioner, so already really into natural medicine and health and healthy eating and that sort of thing. And then a few years ago, my youngest daughter, just after she turned 8, was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, and that's when our whole lives just changed. And that's when I got really interested into what this illness is and what effect it has, and more importantly what you can do to really improve your outcome and improve your health and your future. And then about 2 years after that, our other daughter was also diagnosed, and so I said to my husband, well, since both of our kids have it, maybe we should go and get checked too. Lo and behold, he had it as well. So 3 out of the 4 of us have Hashimoto's. So for those of you who have it, you can imagine that that makes life a bit interesting at times at home. So aside from my professional life, where I'm really do my best to try and help my clients feel better, I'm really passionate particularly about Hashimoto's because it plays such a big role in our everyday lives at home. So I've put together this video for you. I hope it helps. It's just to give you a bit of a rundown about what Hashimoto's is, because I found when we were first given the diagnosis, the doctor never really explained anything. So luckily with my background I already knew what it was. But I find in practice that a lot of people come to me and they don't really understand what the illness is and what all the different terms mean, like what's TSH, what's T4, how does the brain play into this? Why am I experiencing symptoms all over my body when it's just my thyroid that's in my neck that's sick? So I hope you find this interesting, and I've got a little treat for you in store, a really yummy recipe if you stick around to the end. And I've also put together a really short program, just a little one that I'll share with you right at the end. So thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoy it. Welcome to Hashimoto's Where Do I Begin? Everything you need to know but your doctor didn't tell you. I found that when we started out on our Hashimoto's journey many years ago now, I just felt completely overwhelmed and lost and just couldn't seem to wrap my head around what was going on. So today I want to dispel all of that drama for you and guide you through so that you're feeling a lot more confident about what's going on and where you're headed. And best of all, that there's actually a lot you can do in the future to improve your outlook. So how are you feeling? At the moment, are you finding that there's all this medical jargon being thrown around by your doctors? They're talking things like TSH and T4 and T3 and thyroxine, and you just have no idea what's going on. Or perhaps you're finding that when you do go into to see your doctor, you can't really communicate with him. You feel like there's all these things you want to tell him, but he's just not quite listening, or you don't really know how to put it into words. Maybe also you're finding it's hard to talk to him because he's talking about all these parts of the body, like the thyroid, that perhaps you've never heard before. So you're not really sure what he's talking about. Or maybe you feel that you're drowning in all the paperwork or the pathology requests and doctor's reports and referrals and appointment cards, and you just don't know what to do with it all. Your head's just swimming. Sometimes it just feels like it's just all a bit too much. And I know, because this is how I felt when we first started. So I want to say welcome. If that's how you're feeling, you're in the right place, and I'm glad that you're here today because we've got a lot in store, and I really think that this is going to help you out. Oh, and stick around because I do have a little prezi for you at the end for everybody. Alright, so let's dive on in. What are you going to discover today? Well, first of all, we're going to talk about what is the thyroid. What is this mystical being that we'd never heard about until the diagnosis of Hashimoto's? We're going to talk about what does the thyroid do? Why is it important? Who does it talk to? How is it monitored? And what can you do? I think this is perhaps the most important one. A lot of the time when we're given a diagnosis, we feel this we feel like we've lost control. We feel like all of a sudden everything is out of our hands and our lives are now being dictated by our doctors and what they tell us. Well, I'm here to tell you today that there's actually a lot that you can do, and I'm here to help you get that control back. So let's begin. What is Hashimoto's? Hashimoto's is autoimmune hypothyroidism. That is a mouthful. So what does that mean? Well, autoimmune means that it's your immune system attacking itself. So normally the job of your immune system is to discover what are called pathogens or germs when they invade your body, and to attack and destroy them. But what happens in an autoimmune disease is that the immune system gets confused and starts attacking parts of your own body as though it were the germs. And when it happens in Hashimoto's, it's the thyroid that it's attacking. Hypothyroidism means low functioning thyroid. So in autoimmune hypothyroidism, you have a thyroid that's not really working properly because the immune system is attacking it. So let's actually have a look at what the thyroid is. So this is what it looks like. Now the thyroid's located in your neck, just at the front here. So I'm pointing to my own neck, not that you can see me. So it's just below where the Adam's apple area is. So you can see on here we've got what's called the trachea, and that's the windpipe, and the thyroid is sitting on top and to the front of that. So there's two what are called two lobes. So you've got your left lobe and your right lobe, and they're joined by a little bridge in the middle, this part here, and that's called the isthmus. So it wraps around like that, and it's a bit of a butterfly shape. So you'll often see in thyroid groups, the butterfly is often used to represent the thyroid. So this picture here gives you a good idea of where it actually sits. So this is it up here, this little butterfly shaped organ up here in your neck. And for such a small organ, it really is a powerful thing. It controls all the metabolism in your whole body, and as you'll find out today, it actually influences just about every part of your body. So what does the thyroid do? It does a lot of things. It helps to maintain your body temperature. It rules the metabolism in your body, so when it's not working properly and your thyroid slows down, you'll find that your whole metabolism slows down as well. It has a big impact on your nervous system, and that's why we often see problems like brain fog and depression. It has a huge impact on the digestive system, so we often see symptoms like constipation and bloating. It can affect the musculoskeletal system, so things like leg cramps are very common, also joint pain. The cardiovascular system is also heavily impacted. We often see elevated cholesterol here, and it also has a big impact on the reproductive system, especially for women, and it can really make that time of the month horrendous if it's not under proper control. Alright, so looking at metabolism and temperature, how does it do this? So it controls your temperature regulation. So when your thyroid slows down, when you have hypothyroidism, it brings your whole body temperature down. And what that does is it brings down the rate, or your basic metabolic rate. And what that means is that all your cells in the body have lots of jobs that they need to do, and they all have an optimal working temperature. And that optimal working temperature is your normal body temperature. So around sort of 36, 37 degrees. And what happens is when that temperature drops low, it slows down the speed of reactions, and that means that everything else in your body slows down. So when your body is trying to metabolize your food and create energy, that whole process slows down, and that's why you end up tired and fatigued and without any energy. So it's also very heavily involved in the metabolism of fats and carbohydrates, and also with how your body produces new proteins, so for your hair growth and your nail growth. And that's why sometimes your hair can be really thin and brittle when your thyroid's not working properly, because it's not able to support the protein being built. Okay, so looking at the nervous system. Now this is really important in children. It's especially important why if children have thyroid problems, it needs to be picked up as soon as possible and treatment needs to be started straight away. Because without a properly functioning thyroid, children's brains and intellect cannot develop properly. So you may have heard of a condition called cretinism, and that's where the thyroid is not functioning in a very, very, very young child, and it stunts their intellectual development. It's also necessary for puberty to go through properly as well. So our digestive system, the thyroid is involved in the secretion of your digestive juices. So if you're not getting enough of your stomach acid or your pancreatic juices, then you're not able to break down your food properly. And when you can't break your food down properly, you can't absorb it properly. And that means that you're really not getting all the energy and all the nutrients out of the food that you're eating. So it also supports your muscle tone in your digestive system, and that means that it helps to move everything along. So when that's not working properly, everything gets slow and sluggish, and that's when the constipation sets in. So it's also involved in muscular development and function, and also helping your helping bones grow in children. So very important there for their growth. And sometimes you'll see, well, we actually even saw in our own daughter, when before her Hashimoto's got picked up, she'd stopped growing, and that's because she wasn't getting enough thyroid hormones for her bones to grow. So in the cardiovascular system, the thyroid is helping the heart to work properly, and it's also involved in the whole cholesterol production process. So you'll find a lot of the time that your LDL, or what they like to call bad cholesterol, is often elevated in hypothyroidism. And it also controls your heart rate. So when your thyroid slows down, a lot of the time your heart rate will slow down as well. Reproductive system. So I touched on this briefly earlier. So it's very important for fertility, and a lot of the times people's thyroid problems get picked up when they're trying to conceive and are having problems there. Alright, so who does it talk to? It talks to every single cell of the body. All, as you just saw, the whole body is affected by thyroid hormones. So how does it do this? Well, it all starts up in the brain, in a part of the brain called the hypothalamus, and another part called the pituitary gland. So the hypothalamus releases a hormone called thyroid releasing hormone, and this then goes to the pituitary gland, which releases another hormone called thyroid stimulating hormone, or TSH, and this is what they often test for when they're checking your levels. And that then tells the thyroid how much hormone it needs to release. So it's a bit of a feedback loop here. So as you see, the thyroid releases its hormones, which is called T4, and then that circulates in the blood, and then the hypothalamus keeps an eye on what those levels are doing. And so when those levels start to drop, it releases the TRH, which tells the pituitary, oh, we need to get our thyroid working a bit more. So it sends off the thyroid stimulating hormone, and that tells the thyroid, come on, boost up your work, we need more hormones. And it spits out some more T4. So how is it monitored? So this is where the doctors come in and how they keep an eye on how your levels are going. So this is done through blood tests. So the main blood test that they run is called TSH. Its proper name is thyrotropin, or thyroid stimulating hormone. And this is always the first test that they will run. Now if this is high, it means that your brain is constantly telling the thyroid, come on, push out more hormone, push out more hormone. So the slower the thyroid is, the more TSH your brain produces, trying to get it going. So T4 is the next one that they may check, or that they will usually check, and T4 is the storage form of your thyroid hormone. So this is how it's produced in the thyroid. Nearly all of it is T4. It produces a very small amount of what's called T3, which is the active form, but nearly all of the hormone produced by the thyroid is T4, and its proper name is thyroxine. So T3 is the active form of your thyroid hormone. So your thyroid produces predominantly T4, but then your body needs to convert that T4 into T3. So this is mostly done through the liver, and a little bit of it is done through the other cells in the body. Doctors don't always check your T3. TSH is the main one, and then T4. So then we have the antibodies. We have the TPO antibodies and the TG antibodies. So TPO stands for thyroperoxidase and the TG stands for thyroglobulin. So these are antibodies which are cells of the immune system that are attacking the thyroid. And this is what determines if it's autoimmune hypothyroidism, as in Hashimoto's, or whether it's what's called simple hypothyroidism. So this tells us if the immune system is involved. A lot of the time doctors will only test this once just to see if they're there, and then they tend to not monitor their levels. I like to keep an eye on them because it gives you an idea of how much the immune system is still attacking, and through diet you can actually bring these antibodies down. Reverse T3. Now this is a really controversial one. I've yet to have an endocrinologist of ours order reverse T3, but I always get it ordered for all of my clients. So reverse T3 tells you how much stress the body is under. So earlier we spoke about how you have the storage form of T4, which gets converted into the active form of T3 that the body uses. Well, when your body's under a lot of stress, instead of it going from T4 to T3, a lot of it will go from T4 to reverse T3. Now reverse T3 is the mirror image of T3. So it still fits in all the little receptor sites, but it can't do the job. So this causes a lot of problems. It makes your levels look good if only the TSH is being looked at, but really it means your body can't use the thyroid hormone that it's producing or that you're taking as a medication. So what can you do? I think this is a really big one. What can you do? Knowledge is power. So the more you know about your condition, the more control you have about your future and what you can do. So it's really important that you build a team. I know in the beginning a lot of people just really heavily rely on their doctor. We're brought up in this society to think that doctors know everything, but unfortunately they don't. And that's no fault of their own, it's just the way that they're trained. So doctors are trained to use surgery and pharmaceuticals to help you feel better. They are not trained in nutrition. Of course there are exceptions to this with your functional doctors and your integrative doctors, but generally you'll find that most of your mainstream doctors are not trained in nutrition. So if you want nutritional advice, your doctor is not the best person to see. You really want to go and see a nutritional medicine practitioner or a naturopath. Now in building your team you might find that you have other specialists, so you might have an endocrinologist for example, you may bring in a massage therapist, some people have physio if they're having joint pain. So really important, build your team, get all the people who have the skills that you need to support you. Okay, next you need to take, oh excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Next you need to take your medications the right way so that they actually work. Now this is really important. With thyroxine, it's not a case of just swallowing it down whenever you think about it and off you go on your merry way. There is a right way and there is a wrong way to take it. So it's really important that you know how to take it the right way. Okay, next we're going to talk about how you can control your stress. Now stress is so important. It has a massive, massive impact on your thyroid. As your stress levels go up, it will actually push your thyroid function down. So the glands in your body called the adrenal glands produce your stress hormones. So when they release lots and lots of stress hormones called cortisol, the cortisol actually stops your thyroid from working properly. And it also affects how your body converts your T4, the active form of the hormone, into T4, the storage form, into T3, the active form. So stress plays a massive, massive role in the health of your thyroid. So it's really important that you keep your stress in check. And number 5, biggest thing that you can do is to take control of your own health and your future. Don't just be, don't be a spectator in your health, be an active participant. So get in there and get involved. Whew, that was a lot. I need a sip of my tea. Okay, so how are you feeling now? You feeling a bit better, or are you feeling a bit, oh my goodness, this is so much to take in? So I know it is a lot, so what I'm going to do is I will provide a replay to this. So everyone who who signed up to watch this, I will send you out a replay link so you can watch it again, just to get your head around it all, because it is a lot to take in. But at least now you know what you're dealing with. So to help you through all of this, I have put together a system here that just makes it a lot easier. So I can show you how to listen to what your body is trying to tell you. There's lots of little secrets going along in there, and I'm going to tell you how you can open up your ear to hear them. I'm here to teach you how to deal with doctors so that they listen to you without you wanting to strangle them. Or is that just me? No, really, it's essential that you get a really good working relationship with your doctors, and I've got all the tricks ready to go. As I said earlier, it's essential that you know the right way to take your medications so that they actually work, and you really need to be able to control your stress before it controls your thyroid. And finally, to tie it all together, I'm here to show you how to build your very own personal medical dossier. Now, this was the best thing I ever did. I have one of these for every person in our family, and I get all of my clients to put one of these together, and I help take them through step by step. And it means everything's in one place, and you know where to find it, and you never lose anything. And best of all, you don't get embarrassed by turning up to doctor's appointments without things like referrals or blood tests. That I would know about that, of course. So you can do this. So here I am with my two gorgeous girls. So this is how our Hashimoto's journey began. This photo was actually taken about 2 weeks before my youngest daughter, the one on the left, was diagnosed. So she had only just turned 8, and she was diagnosed with Hashimoto's. 2 years later, my other daughter was diagnosed, and shortly after that my husband was. So in addition to dealing with this as a healthcare professional, I also deal with this every day in my day-to-day life with my family. So I'm really, really passionate about helping people to really take charge of their health and to have the best outcomes. Hashimoto's does not have to rule your life. You can keep it in check. So, do you want to know how? So, I'm here. I have put together a small program that I want to share with you called Overcome the Overwhelm with the Hashimoto's 5-step nurture solution, because I want you to be the boss of your own health. So, what is this we've got? So, the things that you'll discover in the 5-step nurture solution is why unlocking your story is important. I'm actually going to help you get your story out and put it all together. We're going to go over why organisation is absolutely critical to your recovery. I'm going to show you how to work with your doctors, not against them, and the secret to getting what you want when you're in that doctor's office. We'll cover stress, how it affects your thyroid, and what you can do about it. And I've got lots and lots and lots of fun ways to get around this. And finally, medications. Why you take them, how you take them is just as important as remembering to take them. So I've got all sorts of hints and tips to help you remember to take them at the right time, take them the right way, to make sure you're not eating foods that are going to stop your medication working. We cover all of that. Alright, so quickly to go through, there's 5 steps as we said. So the first step is your unique Hashimoto story, because it's all about you. Then we'll talk about dealing with doctors, and I'll give you the secret to getting what you want. Then we have medications the right way so that they actually work. Now, it just astounds me how many people are not taking their medication the right way, and so it's just not working properly. Then we'll talk about controlling your stress before it controls your thyroid, and lots of really fun ways. And I'll give you a little secret. It involves glitter. And then putting it all together. So we're going to actually build your personal medical dossier. Now, this I think is the best part of the entire program, and by far the most popular. Alright, so what have we got included? We've got the 5-step course. I'm giving you a copy of my beautiful cookbook of gluten-free, dairy-free and soy-free breakfasts, because I find that the meal that most people struggle with, regardless of how they eat, is breakfast. So I've got lots and lots and lots of yummy ideas in there, some for the sweet tooth and some for the savoury. We've got our medical dossier. I'm going to take you through step by step how to build your own. We've got some really fun creativity exercises, and I'm going to tell you my favourite apps that you can get for your phone, and they're free. Alright, so back at the start, I promised you I had a little present for you. So if you go to this link here, you can get the recipe for my chocolate turmeric chai. It's actually what I'm sipping on at the moment while I'm talking. And I love this because it's anti-inflammatory and it supports your thyroid function and it helps regulate your blood sugars. It is wonderful, and best of all, it is so delicious. Alright, so are you ready now to overcome the overwhelm and be the boss of your own health? And I'm really glad you are, because it's available just for a short time at only $29. This is my special introductory price because it's the first time I'm launching this program. So head on over to the website and you can get started right now. So it's a total value of $66.50. I've tried to throw as much in here as I can. So you've got the course, you've got the cookbook, and you've got your medical dossier all together. Alright, so let's get started. Come on over to hashimoto's5stepnurture.com/join, click on the button, and I'll see you on the inside. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you've enjoyed the presentation, and I hope you've actually learned something. So whether you join up on the program or not, I really hope that that you've learned something new, and I wish you all the best for your future and your health. Thank you so much again for joining me. Bye.